Okay, so thank you for doing the trade exercise. Apologize for the interruption. So, first of all, I think you identified great things because I can see all of those already. So, what we've always tried to do at the rec center is find students that have traits that are really positive traits that we want people to be positive. We want to give students like that opportunity. So we're always looking for a positive attitude, customer service, work ethic, reliability, responsibility. We've always felt if we could find people with those kind of traits, we can teach them any job in the building because they're smart. They're going to school. We could teach any skill, but we can't teach those things. People either have them right off the bat, or they have them but they haven't developed them yet, or it's just not something that is desirable. Yeah. And I don't say this to pick on Ian, but I was a little scared at the beginning of Ian because he was so quiet. And is it fair to say?
Yeah, that's true.
And not that that's a bad thing, but in a customer service role, how can you do it? But I can relate to you because I'm very introverted, believe it or not, like you are. So I would rather read a book than deal with people. That's obviously true of some of the children and such, but by and large, that's my comfort. I'll go outside and shoot baskets by myself for hours. That's fun for me. But what Ian, I see a lot of what I experience in Ian because he's able to put that aside and from a customer service standpoint, be very engaging with customers and talk to them. And I was kind of the same way. I could do that because the job required it. And I found that by giving people information and creating a good experience for them, I got energy from that. So I was able to flip the introversion a little bit to get satisfaction from that. And I see him do that very similarly. And that was one of the reasons or one of the questions rather that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the three of you. Why do you think Jen Wood selected you for this program? And then, why do you care to select you, Ian?
I don't know. You've been asking me to do it for a couple of
I was hoping you'd say that. So, yes, we have. So, McKinley?
I've had in the same boat as Ian a little bit because I was going to do it last semester, or the last time we had it, but I wasn't able to because of the schedule conflict.
Right.
But I also think it's because I show the qualities and the traits that you just mentioned.
Right. Absolutely.
I think Jen selected me because she's seen me since I was like 16.
Yeah.
And I was really like scared of people. Like I couldn't talk on the phone when I was that age. And this job has helped me sort of remember a lot.
Yeah.
And I think she's noticed that.
Absolutely. So, I asked that question because number one, I want you to feel good about this. It wasn't just fun going around. Not that I wouldn't have anyway, but the input from your supervisors was a key factor. And really, yes, we've been harassing you for no reason, but other than that, it was just, okay, we've got some names and we'll see if we can make it fit. But I can sum it up in two words. Your supervisors, Jen and Kara, have identified you as future leaders. And some of you are already in that leadership role, but we're seeing you in the down the line. So it's a tremendous responsibility, it's a tremendous challenge, but we believe in you for that. We really do. Again, you've got those core traits that we're really interested in. And we feel like we can just continue to teach you through the experiences and how you get better. So it's really a tremendous compliment to each of you. So you should be proud of that because I sent the email out. Jen and Kara sent it back, and you guys, you were on it. So there's not much more I could say than that. Here's some other things for you to think about is, in addition to all those things I talked about, you create value. Your presence, your contribution, you create significant value for your teams. And that's a great thing. Things that we talk about today and things that you do in your job the next 2 to 3 years that you've got left in school, you can take that to interviews, you talk about that with internships, apprenticeships. You can do all these things to get you to the next level. And that's one of the things that drives myself. I know it drives Karen, I know it drives Jen, is that we really love the student development piece, and we really like giving you tools to be successful for that next step. Another reason that you're here is, and I didn't hear anyone say it, but you're problem solvers. I could point to each one of you and have some story or get some story about your ability to solve problems. Staff doesn't show it. Fair amount, doesn't it? Or staff's late, someone's not feeling well, you've got to step in, solving an issue for a customer. You guys all solve those problems. You take your knowledge, your background, and your training, and you solve problems for people. And there are not many more valuable skills than problem solving. If you can talk about, as you get into these interviews, talk about examples of when you solve problems. That's going to impress people because people want that. People don't like to hire staff and have to deal with every problem. At some point, you want to say, okay, it's yours. You can do it. You've got confidence in you. And then you teach others how to do it too. So those are some of the things I think about when I think about why we do the problem solving is a good thing. Because some people play victim. Some people just ignore it, and you think it. You tackle it, you go after it, and you do what you can to make it work. You think about how to make it better by evaluating it the next time. And you do it. So, all things that are very good. So, last thing I wanted to talk about before we did the core value exercise for tonight was, and if you can ever get to this point, I really hope you can. It took me probably some years to get to this point, is I developed my own leadership methodology, which I call 6E. And I got to present this at a conference a couple of years ago, and one of my co-presenters, it was really neat. I was one of the presenters. We had our intern from intramurals, and we had a student from Akron. And we were on a Google Hangout one night. We were talking about how can we make this a good presentation. We were presenting at our state workshop, and I named this. I told her my leadership methodology. She said, "Ooh, that's sexy." So it was kind of catchy. It was, oh yeah, sexy, yeah. So I actually want to write a book about this at some point. I don't know what the cover will look like, but maybe it'll be in going like this. But what I tried to do was think of things that start with the letter E, that were catchy, that I thought encompassed everything, and that could link together very well. So the first one is energy. And I saw that expressed in a couple of different ways on the board, as we just said. It's, whether it's positivity, being encouraging, just having that mind, that go-getter, action mindset. You get tired at times, but people don't recognize that very often. They always see you and say, "Oh, you always have a lot of energy. You're always very positive." I think that's a very important thing that a lot of people don't talk about. They talk about the skills, they talk about the traits, but I think the energy part, you've all experienced it, I imagine. I've experienced it. When you don't feel well, and when you don't have that full store of energy, you just don't feel the same. You just don't act the same. you're not your best self when you don't have that high energy level. So, in my mind, there's a lot of components about it. And this facility, in a lot of ways, encapsulates helping people keep their energy through wellness, fitness, all those things. Recreation, the intent of the word recreation is to recreate yourself. And what that is you do something that recharges you, replenishes you. That's one of the things I've always loved about this environment is, do you know anyone that comes in this building not to have a good time and feel better about themselves after they've been here? It's pretty darn rare. Ian's got some of the seekers in the morning. They sometimes complain about it. But they're still glad they are still glad to be here. And that's what's needed. We have an environment that is a incubator for that. It's awesome. So these mean different things to different people, but you have to have a good diet. You have to have good nutritional habits. You've got to lay off the excess carbs, the sugars, the junk food. The more natural you can eat, the better you're going to feel. And I'm not going to sit here and say, do this diet, do this diet, do this diet. What I would challenge you with is, after you eat a meal, in 10 or 15 minutes when you're done, do you feel better or do you feel worse? And if you think about that, if you feel more sluggish than you did before you started eating, that's probably a food that's not giving you energy. I know that chips, I love potato chips too. I love it. But I feel like garbage after I eat it. I feel like I can lay down and take a nap for 2 hours. But eating an apple, I feel good about it. As soon as I eat it, it gives me energy. So there's a lot of different diets out there. I'm not going to say which one is better than the other, but just be aware of what you're eating. I know another one is, I love Coke. And for the kick that it gives me from a caffeine standpoint, it also makes me feel sluggish. So you just have to be aware of those things. And your body's telling you what to eat and what not to eat. It really is. So just be aware of that. The other way I look at energy, and we've obviously got all the facilities and all the activity areas in this building. I've always looked at exercise as just movement. Just get some movement and get some intensity with it from time to time. So, a couple of you mentioned you love walking dogs. I walk my dogs every morning, and after they've done their business, I'm on a speed walk with them because that 4:35, 6 in the morning, whatever it is, it's early. That gets me going, and it gets them moving too. And I look at movement as being a challenge that we all face as our jobs become more sedentary, sitting down, lifeguards, you know that all too well. It's hard to maintain an energy level, maintain that moving around philosophy, and you have to do it. How many of you have parents that sit down most of the time at work? It's, if you ask them, that's not an energy source, it's an energy drain. And what they get, usually when people are like that, they get their energy from getting up and moving around. One of the things I love about my job, and I call it management by walking around, and that's a fairly common term in DWA. When you start walking around, it's just seeing all the energy, So, energy is the first one. The others that we're going to talk more about in the future are expectations. And that really wasn't set up on that's a good one to add to our list. I think great leaders set the bar, they set the standards, they set the expectations that they want people to attain. Emotional intelligence, we're going to talk about what the 5 components of emotional intelligence are. We're going to cover that. Empowerment. How many of you like when Jen Wood or Kara gives you a task to do? Do you sense that they feel that they can trust you with that? That's empowerment. we're going to get you to the level is giving that empowerment to others. So they feel the same way. Execution. So when you set the standards, you empower people, you have to take the action. You just have to do it. And I think this really comes together in a unique way with the big swim meets we have. And we've all been involved with it. Everyone's a little bit different. No two swim meets are the same. But there's always little different pieces that we have to do to coordinate. We have to plan it, we have to set the expectations, we have to empower the staff, do training, those kind of things, and then we have to do it. And then the last C is evaluation. You have to evaluate what's going on. There's an old saying, and if you know anything about military, Army, Navy, all the branches think they're better than others. And I'm not going to judge which one's better or not, but let's say it's the Navy talking bad about the Army. What they'll say about the Army is even a broken clock is right twice a day. So, in your evaluation method, whatever it is, you have to look for the things that went well. Sometimes, how many of you focus on the negatives? When you have report cards in school, I guess you still get report cards. What's the first, do you feel good about the grades you got, you did well in, or do you focus on that grade that you didn't think was very good? Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's human nature, and we tend to do that. But we have to balance that out. A good ratio as a leader is you have to strive for at least 4 compliments and positive feedback for every 1 negative. And it's just for that reason. If I tell McKinley, you're awful, I could have said, McKinley, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awful. He only heard me say awful. It's just human nature. So we have to try and balance it out as much as possible. And the evaluation is a way to do that. Talk about things that went well. And you don't attack personally. You focus on the action and what needs to be made next time. So that's 6C. Again, we covered energy tonight, but and we'll cover the rest in the future. But that's my foundation for what I think makes up good leadership or really good energy. Just decided so. All right. So last thing I wanted to do tonight was I asked you to each think about your core values. So I shared with you that mine were responsibility, integrity, respect, solution-centered, and excellence. I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but I think the last are ones that are pretty unique. In a leadership role, you can't focus. It's so easy to get dragged down into the gossip, getting down. They didn't do this. They didn't do this. They didn't do this. This is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. There's always going to be problems. There's always going to be those things. What's the solution? You have to offer solutions. If people are just going to complain, there's value to that. If it's done in a constructive way, especially, because you can make progress with that. But you've got to challenge people and come up with solutions. I know that Tara Britton on the customer service side, for a number of years, she's told people, if you've got a complaint, you need to come to me with 2 or 3 solutions, or else you just whine. And again, there's value in that. Addressing, having the courage to confront and bring a problem, that's great. Again, there's different modes of constructiveness to it, but come up with solutions to it. If Ian is going to come to me and tell me that something's wrong with the pro shop, I want him to tell me how to fix it. Because my job is to give him the tools that he needs to do his job. Okay? So, solution-centered is, I think, a unique one on mine. So, what was yours? Okay, we'll get you next week.
Yes.
Okay, that's no problem.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Positivity, respect, and teamwork.
Okay, good.
I said commitment, civility, and self-reliance.
Okay, nice.
I wrote open-mindedness, responsibility, individuality, and creativity.
So you're going to really enjoy the empowerment piece. You're going to enjoy empowerment. You really are. I can see that. So, what was the last one you said?
Self-reliance.
Yes. Tell me about that.
Well, like, just trying to figure things out for myself before
Yeah.
asking something.
I've always found it amazing how many times people ask questions that they look in that book. The answers there. Do you notice that?
Sometimes.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. And Ian's challenge is there's good and bad to everything, pros and cons. Your challenge is going to be, what do you know? Can you recognize what you ask?
Yeah.
So, but because I'm the same way, I want to know all the. I'll do whatever I can to find the answer for myself. And but at some point you hit a brick wall. No matter if you try to jump over, go around, and ram through it, you just can't. So you got to find someone to help you with that. But that's a really good one. So, McKinley, what do you think was your most unique one on the list?
Probably positivity. Because no matter what, you always want to try to have a positive attitude. Because if you have a positive attitude, then other people around will kind of either get a little bit happier or kind of mad at you or like whatever.
I have a sense that McKinley doesn't tolerate a lot of nonsense people. He just doesn't spend time with them. Is that fair to say?
Maybe.
Yeah, I value that too. People that just complain all the time, give no solution. That's kind of why I had solutions in one line, so we're going to see. It's hard to be around people. It's always great outside. And again, there's value to that, to a point. And it's great. What was your most unique one?
I think individuality.
Tell me about that.
I think when I look at it,
Yeah, please.
because I sort of like the average myself.
Nice.
I wrote individuality involves recognizing and respecting people as individuals, including myself. Challenging myself to resist categorizing and stereotyping people and to respect individual experiences, especially ones to which I cannot relate. Trusting my own opinions while taking into account that influence them and how they can change.
So, just thinking about what challenges would each of you have as and we're going to do this. So, McKinley's going to not be able to stand negative people as a leader. If he has a negative personality, he's not going to like that person. At some point. So, Ian is not going to like someone that's always coming in asking for questions. He's going to say, "Here it is, figure it out." Sarah's going to have a hard time laying down the law because you have a respect for people that you want them to succeed, but at some point, if they're not, you're going to have to tell them how to do it in the manner that your leadership role has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a tough. I can see that being a tough one for you. We all have those things we love doing. So Ian's going to be wanting to find people that find answers out on their own. He just is. You're going to be a very personalized leader. You're going to know everyone's strengths, areas of improvement, and you're going to be very intentional about how you're grouping people together. And you have team members, so I would say the same thing. What were your other two years?
Commitment and stability.
So you might even encourage debate, but you want it done in respect. And that's a hard one for people to recognize and understand that sometimes you have to fight. There's a book called 5 Dysfunctions of Teams by Patrick Lencioni. That's one of the 5 dysfunctions is that teams don't have open debate about getting the best solution. So Ian's going to have his little self-reliant army that's going to each come. They're going to have all their stuff done, and things are going to come in, and they're going to do something. So it's a unique thing, and that's just something. That's just another leadership challenge you have to be aware of. Sarah's gonna have trouble putting the brakes on the baby. You're gonna want to hear everything. I can just sense that now. You didn't tell me what you think. And all those things are going to be, and I've been accused of that too sometimes. You just let meetings drag on because you want people to talk. But I always say, well, I didn't hear the answer that really sparked me yet, so I want to try to brought it out and that's what I say. I ask a lot of questions. I drive the aquatic staff crazy because when I got asked to take over aquatics a couple of years ago, it was a surprise to me because my joke was always, I'd rather film those in basketball games. so the staff knowing that I thought that way, and they also say, Ron, you were thinking about aquatics. I did say about it all the time. But I ask a lot of questions, and I want to learn, and I've learned a lot in the last couple of years. I couldn't have been independent a couple of years ago. It's helped me immensely. So, all right, you guys have any questions about this first one? Feel good about it? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Get your homework ready for school. Yeah. I'll tell you what we're going to talk about next week, and then she's going to have her core values. We'll probably cover a couple more of the 6 C's, probably expectations, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is one that you may or may not have heard of, but I think it's a very, very neat thing. It's something that's very recent to leadership and everybody. When I explain it to you, I think you'll understand about it, because the 5 traits are very similar to what I like to do. So, and then the other things we'll talk about, we talked about traits of great leaders today. One of the things we'll talk about next week is what are traits of great organizations. So we'll kind of brainstorm what makes great teams and why they're great. So, any other questions besides homework? I can give you about 5 books for you if you want to say. Is that what you want? Well, again, I appreciate your time. I really believe this is going to be a value to you. And if I can teach you 5 things from a leadership standpoint that will help you throughout your career, so thank you very much. Yeah.